Hello there guys, welcome back to ShootOut, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope that you're doing well. It's just me today. So it's a one-off. George is traveling, so he's unable to be able to make this time where we have to record this preview for these predictions for what we think is going to happen during this Premier League weekend. So I was like, okay, no problem. I'll step in for the whole thing. You'll get me only today, but we will be getting George back on the next video. So I hope all of you are going to enjoy this solo appearance. That is a one-off. Let's get cracking. We have just gone round another round of fixtures in midweek. We are now looking forward to the weekend. It's week 16. I am currently 8 points ahead. It's 8 points? Yeah, 8 points ahead of George in terms of the scores. It's currently 54 to him and 62 to me. So, don't worry. I won't be losing. George doesn't have the power to say anything in this video, so I'm going to tell you guys, don't worry, I got this. I got this, yeah? I got this. It's fine. It's fine. So, make sure you're leaving. He's going to have a go at me next video. I'll probably get booked again. Make sure you leave your predictions in the comment section below. But let's get cracking. Starting off with the first game of this weekend, and it's going to be the early kickoff: Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. This is the lunchtime kickoff. Normally, with a lunchtime kickoff on a Saturday, 12:30, crazy things can happen. Yeah. However, I'm going to be real. Palace versus Liverpool. I don't expect any craziness to happen this time around. I would love it, but I don't. Actually, would I love it? Crystal Palace currently sitting in 14th, and they're only 3 points away from where my club are, Chelsea, at the moment, and I don't want them to catch up. So we're living in a situation right now where I actually wouldn't mind Liverpool winning a game, and that's unforgivable. So, look, realistically, anything can happen, but Crystal Palace right now are in a little bit of a mess. There's talk about Roy Hodgson going to lose his job shortly. Apparently, in terms of the board at Crystal Palace, there's a couple of members that want Hodgson gone. The rest are actually okay with him doing what he's doing at the moment. It's a little bit split. And I do think, as the rumours are suggesting, that if Steve Cooper does become available from Nottingham Forest, that Palace will be moving for him. So I think it's a matter of time, really. We will see what happens, but there's a little bit of instability. It's not helping them at the moment. They did lose their last game at home against Bournemouth, and that's Bournemouth. For the same reason, even Liverpool managed to clean shop at Sheffield United. I think that they are picking up a very good run of form, and I think that's going to continue. So the predictions are, and I'll be talking for George on his behalf in terms of his predictions, because he did send over his predictions. I submitted mine. We submitted at the same time, so we didn't know what we were predicting to each other. But he did say 2-0 Crystal Palace, and I said 2-0 Liverpool, and I said 2-0 Liverpool. It'd be funny if one of us actually said 2-0 Crystal Palace. That would be a very risky move, but we both said 2-0 as our prediction for this game. The next one, Wolves versus Nottingham Forest. Now, we just mentioned Nottingham Forest. They are going through a little bit of a bad time at the moment, and Steve Cooper is going to be losing his job. That's it. He's already publicly come out and started criticising his players, and you know when that's happened, it's basically game over. He's literally press conference coming out and going, they just didn't give what they had to give, these lot, then they're not bothered, you know. I'm paraphrasing, but go and watch his press conference. You can see that he's just, it's done. It's done. It's going to be a matter of time. And the 5-0 battering at Fulham was a testament to that. So that's why I think when you consider Wolves, and they did beat Burnley at home, albeit Burnley and only 1-0. But I think Wolves have managed to at least turn around a little bit of form. Nottingham Forest, I think, are going to get beaten. So for that reason, the predictions for this one, once again, me and George are agreeing. We have both said 2-0 to Wolves at home. So let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen there. Brighton versus Burnley. This one is going to be very interesting. Why? Because I think people are now looking at Burnley after what they done on the weekend, right? Where, I mean, even though they lost to Wolves in midweek, but what they done on the weekend by destroying Sheffield United, I think there's people that have a sense of optimism in terms of what to expect from Burnley now. I think, as far as I'm concerned, that was just one isolated incident. And for that reason, Brighton, I think, are going to get the job done pretty efficiently. They won their last game against Brentford at home, and I see no reason why it's not going to be the same story against Burnley. It's going to be an interesting game on a tactical level because both teams actually like to play with the ball. Both teams are very flamboyant, should we say, very open, very expressive with their styles. So yeah, maybe for the neutral, it will be a decent game of football to watch, but I think Brighton will have this pretty comfortably. So in terms of predictions, George has gone with a 2-0 win to Brighton. I've gone with a 3-1 win to Brighton. I think they will score. I think Burnley will score. I think even Brighton are not as tight as they once were, but I still feel like they're going to get this done pretty comfortably. So I've gone with 3-1. The next game, Sheffield United versus Brentford. Now, Sheffield United have welcomed back Chris Wilder. Yep, they've gone back to an ex. And you know what? I'll speak from experience. Sometimes it's a good thing. Don't do it, yeah? But Chelsea's level, we've gone back to our ex, and it was amazing briefly. And then it did end a little sour, but not in terms of our relationship with Jose at the time, of course, but in terms of the way that the team went. Sheffield United, though, I don't feel like there's anyone else they could have turned to. They don't have the luxury to be able to go out and get, we want that manager, or we want that manager, go and get that manager. They don't have that. Chris Wilder is out there, he's available since he got sacked. He's not doing anything. They were playing better with Chris Wilder. He knows a lot of these players. Get him back in. He'll save the situation at least. So it's a good move. And this is why I feel like now people are expecting a bounce. It's a new manager bounce. It's Chris Wilder. He's back in town. And bearing in mind the fact that Sheffield United are playing at home, this is where I feel like everyone is going to everyone's going to expect the atmosphere to be a little bit, pumped up, a little bit rocking. I'm sure they're going to welcome Chris Wilder back properly. And it's going to be an interesting game to see. I still think that the quality in their team lacks, and for that reason, I don't think they're going to win, but I don't think they're going to lose. George thinks that Sheffield United are going to get a 1-0 win. Because I'm guessing that it's because of the Chris Wilder effect, and it's understandable. I can understand the logic, but Brentford aren't pushovers, and I feel like it's going to be 1-1. So almost a similar result, but I'm giving the Brentford a goal, and I reckon it's going to finish 1-1. Home draw for Chris Wilder's return to Sheffield United. Now, the next one, Manchester United versus Bournemouth. I feel like with Manchester United, that game against Chelsea doesn't reflect the true situation of Manchester United. Let me just put that out there. We made them look good, yeah? We made them look unbelievable. But when you actually look at the game for what it was, Man United were not fantastic. But they had everything opened up for them. Just walk straight into it. Not a problem. So in terms of what Man United are going to actually do, I still feel like the same problems and the same issues are there. And I mean, to be honest, Bournemouth, you'd expect them to get a job done at home against Bournemouth. But I don't think it's going to be, I feel like now people have all of a sudden just switched and they've got a perception that, this one's easier than the Chelsea game, surely. So it's going to finish 3-0 to United. No, if anything, this game might be harder than the Chelsea game, right? So Manchester United at the moment, and look, what's unbelievable, Ten Hag got Manager of the Month. Harry Maguire, Player of the Month. Ten Hag, Manager of the Month. We're living in a simulation, and the simulation is broken. It's broken. The simulation is messed up, right? The Matrix has been decoded. So, listen, I do think United will get a win, mainly based on maybe the lack of quality that Bournemouth are going to offer, if I'm being completely honest, in terms of what I expect. Bournemouth are sitting in 15th, although they won their last game, like I did mention, and it was a decent victory, but that's Crystal Palace, who are in all sorts of turmoil. I think Man United will just about scrape it. George has gone with a 1-1. And like I said, for the same reasons that I've just mentioned, I can understand the logic. I am going with Manchester United 2, Bournemouth 1. I think United will nick it. Like they always do against teams that dominate them, but are a bit lower in the table, and United find a 95th minute winner, or they get a penalty in the 93rd, or something like that, yeah? So I'm expecting United to nick it. Next one is Aston Villa versus Arsenal. This is going to be one hell of a game. And you know what? I can't believe that I'm calling this top of the table clash Aston Villa versus Arsenal has now become a top of the table clash. There's a 4-point gap between Arsenal in first and Aston Villa in third. Yep, you heard that right. Aston Villa in third. It's bonkers. How? They're sitting on 32 points and Arsenal on 36. Liverpool in between them and City 2 points behind Villa. It's bonkers. But credit to Unai Emery and credit to Aston Villa. And Aston Villa are at home. Can I put a statistic out there for you guys? Now, I'm not a big advocate for stats, I'll be honest. I don't even pay attention to XG much. Yeah, I hate it. But Aston Villa have won 14 of their last home games on the bounce. 14 home wins in a row. Mate, that's prime Jose Chelsea from 2005. That's ridiculous. And this is why I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking, hey, Arsenal, this isn't going to be as easy as maybe some of you are thinking just because Arsenal are top of the league. Nah. And Arsenal, look, they had to struggle against Luton and they got the job done. Defensively, they were a little bit all over the place, but they did score 4. Declan Rice with the clutch winner in the end, and fair play, because that's what you got to do if you want to win the title. But Aston Villa are very, very, very efficient at home. Efficient. And they're at home. So this is why I think we're going to get a shock. Or not even, is it really a shock? George has gone with Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 2. Again, understandable. Maybe they'll cancel each other out. I'm taking it one step further. I'm going Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1. Yeah, Aston Villa to win at home. Make it 15 in a row. I think Arsenal are not as tight defensively as they need to be against an Aston Villa team who perform so well at home like this. And they've got dangerous players in attack. And like I said, they're efficient. They don't get many chances, but when they do, they're clinical. They bury them. So I'm expecting a Villa win. We'll see what happens. Because Arsenal are more than capable of winning here, but I'm going with a 2-1 win to Aston Villa. George is going 2-2. Next one is Luton Town versus Manchester City. Man City... It's weird that Man City... And look, Aston Villa just beat City at home. Do you get the point? Do you understand what I've just said about Villa? But now we got to flip it to Man City. Man City didn't deserve to lose against Spurs. So there's a little bit of an anomaly there. I mean, they didn't lose, they drew. But they deserved to win because of the whole Jack Grealish referee advantage nonsense that I think City would have buried and scored the 4th. They lost to Aston Villa, so that's 4 games in a row where they've not picked up a win. It's bound to happen now. They're going to beat Luton. You know, if not, we're gonna have to start talking about Manchester City. I still think that this is just their blip. All teams are going to have a blip in a season, even the best. Yeah, you can't go from match day 1 to match day 38 just non-stop winning, ridiculous, no blip, no nothing. Yeah. If we're going to take an example that's just popped into my head, in 14-15, when Chelsea stayed top of the league from day 1 till day 38, we didn't jump into second. We will drop. We stayed first from the first day to the last day. But even in terms of points, there were a blip. We were ahead by quite a bit at one point, and then the gap got narrowed before we extended it again. Man City, this time around, I think, look, it's normal that they're going to have a couple of games where it's not going so well. They will bounce back and they will go on a run. They will. It's City. So I think it starts here. Luton gave their everything against Arsenal. They play well against big teams. I'm actually shocked with Luton. They do well against big teams, and I think this will be no different in terms of performance. But can I just say one thing? Defensively, Luton are more open than the red light district in Amsterdam. It's just crazy. And it doesn't help them because they got a good attack. You know, they do go and they don't just sit back and just hope that it's all going to be okay. They really do expand their play and they go and they take chances and they create. So credit to Luton because they've got, you know, cojones, as if you want to call it that, or as Troy Deeney likes to call it. But I just feel like there's a big golfing class here. And I think Luton are going to lose this one. City will pick up a win that will be deemed as routine. And we've both gone for a 3-0 win to Manchester City. It will be the way that they bounce back, and I think Man City will now go on a little bit of a run that they're more accustomed with frequent wins. So let's see what happens. But we're both going 3-0 win to Manchester City. Next game, Fulham versus West Ham. It's a London derby. It's West versus East again, you know. And look, I think with This one, actually, it's tight because West Ham have had a little bit of a bounce back. They beat Spurs in the way that they beat them. And I think Tottenham done damage to themselves in that game. I think Tottenham are just crazy. Tactically, they're just insane. They just go all guns blazing, not thinking of any consequences. And West Ham were there to pick up the pieces, and they've done it very, very well. So fair play to West Ham. They've not lost in the last 4. They've won 3 of their last 4. You want to say 3 out of the last 5. 5 games ago is when they lost their last game. So they are picking up a bit of rhythm. Fulham, on the other hand, are very hit and miss, but they did win their last one, and maybe that's going to bring some momentum their way. But I feel like this is a game that's just going to cancel each other out for the reasons that I just put out on the table. I feel like the levels are the same, the expectations are the same, the form is similar, and that's why George has gone 1-1. I'm going 2-2. I don't feel like there's any much more we can really add to it. So Fulham and West Ham to draw at Craven Cottage. Next one is the one I don't even want to talk about, but I'm going to because I have to. Everton versus Chelsea. I'm going to keep this short, right? It's a very easy preview to make. Very easy prediction. Chelsea are going to get killed. I don't need to say anything else. Everton yesterday done what they did to Newcastle. And can I just say, Sean Dyche has done an incredible job with this Everton team. He hasn't even got them just sitting back and doing what Sean Dyche teams normally do and, proper 4-4-2 Brexit, just Brexit football, kick the ball up, route one, just all of that madness. That's not even what they're doing. They've got elements of that. They're solid now at the back. They're solid in terms of the way that they defend together as a block, but they do move the ball. They move the ball. They get into good positions. They take chances on the counter-attack. And when they do, they are clinical. They don't mess about. Yesterday was a key example against Newcastle. You're looking at some of those chances and thinking they shouldn't have scored them. They did. The third goal was just taking the mick. 29 passes in the row. The whole of Goodison Park going, ole, ole, ole. Patient. Pick out their moment. Boom. One run in behind. Gets to the goalkeeper. Slots it in. An entire move of 29 passes. Ole's finishes with a great finish. 3-0 against Newcastle. Chelsea got to beat that. Chelsea, who are in the capitulation that they're in at the moment, the absolute mess that they are in right now at the moment, or I should say we, because I'm a part of it and I hate it. Get me out of here. I don't see any way how Chelsea get a result at Goodison. With the way that they're playing, their atmosphere, their grit, they are playing like men. Everton are playing like men. And Chelsea are playing like toddlers. So it's only going to go one way. And for that reason, George, for the first time this season, I think, has actually gone in the direction that I anticipated. And he's gone with an Everton 2, Chelsea 1. So an Everton win, I'm taking it one step further, and I'm going Everton 2, Chelsea 0. I don't think we'll score. We used up our quota against Man United because we had an individual bit of brilliance from Cole Palmer, and I don't think that's going to show up again. So Everton to win 2-0. It's our bogey ground anyway. We struggle there anyway. So, now add what we're seeing at the moment. Everton are on fire, and I think they're going to beat us. I'll be honest, Everton, to give them even more credit, if they weren't having a points deduction, they would be above Chelsea right now. They're currently sitting on 10 points. They would have 20 points, 1 point ahead of Chelsea. And I feel like they still are a bit too close to the relegation zone. You're going to see Everton give it as much as they possibly can. And for this reason, I think you're going to see grit, fire, determination. And we just don't possess that at the moment. So Everton, fair play. Keep doing what you're doing. And I think the good run is going to continue this weekend. Let us know your thoughts down below. The final game, Tottenham versus Newcastle. Now, Newcastle, you could say, perhaps physically, it's starting to take its toll. And that's what you saw against Everton. Everton were there to pick up the pieces very efficiently. Didn't give them any room to breathe because they've got runners in their team as well. They've got players that just don't stop. And Newcastle, with the injuries that they have, they can use the excuse of we haven't got enough players now. They were using 11 men only without subs against Man United, PSG, Chelsea, and even the last game against Everton, and now they got to play against Tottenham. But you can tell it's taking its toll. You can tell it's taking its toll. Physically, they're struggling to keep up. But Tottenham are throwing games away tactically. They're just reckless, right? At one point in the game, it looks like they're going to get the result. And then all of a sudden, they just throw it away. They just keep throwing games away, you know, very carelessly. For 20 minutes, they look unbelievable. And then it just goes down the drain. And this is where I think Newcastle are going to manage the game much better than Tottenham. I think Eddie Howe will have a plan in order to maybe just ease everything for the first half hour. Yeah. Even if we're going at halftime 0-0, take it easy. And then, if Tottenham get frustrated, Tottenham are not finding a way through, use the energy that you've managed to conserve and go and get a winner. And this is where I feel like George reckons that this is going to be end-to-end. I've gone with a little bit more of a conservative result. George has gone with a Tottenham 2, Newcastle 3, right? So he's expecting goals. I reckon that it's going to be tough for Tottenham to score from the first half, and then I think Newcastle will come out, which will probably allow Tottenham to get one, but I think Newcastle will get one more. So I am going with Tottenham 1, Newcastle 2. So similar results, but he's going for a goal more each for each side, and I am going with 2-1 Newcastle. So that's our predictions. Let us know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. And we will be here after it is all said and done. And we'll see where we're going to end up in terms of points after these predictions. Let us know yours in the comment section below. And we'll see where everyone is in the Premier League table and what the consequences are going to be. So, and I say consequences because I know what to expect from my team this weekend. And it's not going to be good. So let me know what you're expecting from your team. And we will see you when it's all said and done. Thank you all very much, people. Don't forget to subscribe. And we will see you very, very soon. Have a good one, people. In a bit, take care and peace.